I have an esteemed guest with me today. Good friend, longtime partner, Kevin Redding, Luna Grill. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing really well. Glad to be here. Day one was great. Looking forward to a great day two as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you spending some time with us. I know we talked about a little bit of day one off camera here, but how was there any like highlights for you? There were some, obviously, I enjoyed seeing City Barbecue and Qdoba during the Easy Cater Growth Forum and kind of some operator perspective and things of that nature. But did you have any panels, anything you loved about day one?
I really liked the AI first presentation that was after lunch. That was good because just to see how AI can get into the catering realm. And then I really liked all the data that was presented at the Growth Forum in the morning.
How important and like how is Luna Grill utilizing data like that on your guys' back end in the realm of things nowadays? Like, are you using it for production times, or using it to make sure you have inventory correct? And then how do you have goals to implement AI into all of that?
Not yet.
Right.
So it's sort of just because AI is new, and the one thing I'm hesitant about AI is I don't want to remove the personal touch with the customer. And in fact, I'm seeing more and more these days that customers are reaching out and saying we want a more personal connection with our caterer than they have in the past. And so it's sort of how do you balance AI and how do you balance customer relationships.
Yeah, it's super interesting because obviously, yeah, like a huge talking point is AI, and there's a ton of providers here that are haven't like directly related in that realm of things. But yeah, I think in my experience as a customer, I would always prefer to talk to a person in the drive-through, to talk to someone at the counter, have a waiter or a waitress walk up to my table and serve me, and like things like that. So when you have to counterbalance all that activity, it gets a little interesting.
Yep, absolutely. So it's how do you balance it? It's sort of like the same thing is the last mile delivery is I don't necessarily want a robot doing the delivery. Now maybe if it's a single personal order,
Right.
but for catering it just shows up. It's like that's not going to work.
Yeah, I think
you need that personal touch.
I agree.
From whoever you're using, whether it's a third party or your own.
Yeah,
or your own
I
team.
feel like right now DeliverThat is in an okay spot with robotic delivery, because I agree, like, how are you going to have a robot pick up $300,000, $400,000 worth of food and then also deliver and set that up? But once you pair like one of these autonomous robots that they're like walking and they got their whole movement and like all that, that guy's going to be able to carry $6,000 worth of food by himself.
Could be. Yeah, and then you'll be able to program it with everybody's setup, and you know what I mean? It's like I'm delivering for Luna Grill today, and then I've got an order for Red Robin or somebody else. It's like, and I know exactly how they,
That's wild too. You could like program the routes in his software too and be like, all right, I have 11 a.m., 11:30 drop off. He's going to get those right on time every time.
Yeah.
You're going to have the autonomous vehicle, so we might have to deal with traffic when that's a thing. And then he's going right to that next pickup and drop. Everything's right on time. We might be on the hot seat.
So I don't think so, because you still want that human person when I'm sure a client's not going to appreciate a robot showing up. They might, but I think if something goes wrong, they want to talk to somebody.
Hell yeah.
So
that's good to hear. I appreciate your vantage point there. I want to double back a little bit. Obviously, DeliverThat Luna Grill. We've been partners for a good chunk of time at this. Do you know the timeline now?
It is. So it's 5 years with Luna Grill, and before that, it was two and a half years with
Qdoba. Yeah, I always forget about that. I think when you did your sit down with Lunchbox, I think that got released like last week.
Yep.
And then Christian posted about it on LinkedIn, talking about how we had met you previously with Qdoba, and I always forget that piece.
Yep.
That you were with one brand and then transferred to another and still chose to work with us. I think that's so interesting and so invaluable to when you're able to form a relationship with like that with one person, how you can just move operations and they still want to use you at that new brand.
So, and this is the funny story. DeliverThat was my first call when I started with Luna Grill, because we did self-delivery, and we have what we call the Luna Eclipse. So between 11:30 and 1, you're not allowed to call the restaurants because they're busy. So when do most people place a catering order? Between 11:30 and 1, because they're thinking about it. And so what we'd have to tell the guest was, I'm sorry, we'll have to call you back at 2 o'clock and let you know if we can make your delivery tomorrow. Well, what are you going to do? Your boss wants you to book a lunch for tomorrow, and you get somebody saying, well, I can't tell you until 2 o'clock. It's like, sorry, next restaurant. So that's why I said, hey, I got to solve this delivery opportunity. And so then it went to, we're just going to use third party because then I don't have to bother the restaurant and I don't have to tell the guests no.
Yeah, it's unbelievable too, and we've obviously I know. Do you use our dashboard and all of its capabilities? Like, what is your guys' usage of the DeliverThat platform in totality look like now?
Yeah, so we use it a lot. So especially if a restaurant calls up and says, or a customer will call up and say, hey, where's, do I have my delivery booked? Where's the driver? We'll go into the dashboard as opposed to calling your team or somebody else. So we'll look and say, yeah, there is a driver assigned. Yes, they're on their way. They're at the pickup. They departed. They should be at your location, 5-10 minutes. So it's really been useful and cut down on the number of calls we have to make.
That's amazing. What talking about the whole operation side of the Luna Grill catering experience, everything, like how many a big piece of conversation in the Easy Cater Growth Forum was like having different offerings and making sure you have vegan and vegetarian and boxed lunches and buffet and this, that, and the other. Like, how many offerings does Luna Grill have available to its customers?
So I can cover all the dietary spectrums. And typically I can do it with one buffet because it's really simple of, hey, your dietary, don't use tzatziki, and we'll put tahini on the buffet. So you eliminate that right there. Gluten-free, just don't have the pita bread. So it's really easy to customize a Mediterranean diet. And so that's what we do, and it's really easy.
I will say I'm a big tzatziki guy. So I'll take the tahini and the tzatziki, please. And the pita bread. I'm a big pita bread guy, too. So I want all of that in my meal. Just like a very base question. I know, obviously, we mentioned you were with Qdoba, huge catering brand, Sterno, setup, rack, the whole shebang. Then you go to Luna Grill, partner with DeliverThat again. How, to its core, how invested in catering is Luna Grill?
Oh, it's 100% invested. So when I first came on board, we were at a certain level. COVID hit. Saw a 50% drop in sales. Fortunately, we recovered in 2021 back to where we were pre-COVID. And in the last 3 years, we've actually doubled our revenue. And couldn't have done it without the investment of the GM's buy-ins, our district managers, the executive team buying in. Can't do it unless everybody's sort of saying, yeah, we're all on board. Because that's a tremendous amount of, I don't want to say pressure, but it's a difference to a restaurant where, hey, I used to do X amount of catering, now I'm doubling what I used to do. And some of our restaurants are 200% of what they were doing last year, which is phenomenal.
How do you cultivate that buy-in? Like, is it just, hey, like once you see the results, they're like, all right, now I see the bottom line increasing. Now I see everything's up, and up, and like that gets the buy-in? Or is it from an even more base level standpoint where like you're just like, hey, this is how we cultivate new customers. This is our marketing experience in some sort of way. Like, how do you cultivate that buy-in?
Yeah, so most of our growth is organic. We don't put a lot of marketing behind it. We do grad season, Christmas time, holiday season, but it really is. So I do a training with all the teams. Typically, I try and do it every year, and it really just hammers on the basics: on-time delivery, order accuracy. We do pre-calls, we do post-calls, and now with all the data that you get back from Easy Cater or DeliverThat, some of our other third-party partners, I can take that data and say, okay, let's see how your on-time delivery and accuracy rates are. Now let's look at where you are to budget, and you can nail it. You can go, okay, I know that you're doing your pre-calls and your post-calls, and you're accurate and you're on-time delivery, and it shows. You.
Not me. Yeah. Don't point at me like that.
Yeah. No, but what's funny is I'll have restaurants reach out to me and say, hey, Kevin, we're not doing well with catering. Can you help us? And I'll pull up all that data and say, before I can help you, you need to help yourself.
Yeah, and here's where you can improve.
You got to get your on-time delivery up. You got to get your order accuracy up. Once you do that, then yes, I will come in and I will help you and we'll market you. But until you can nail those basics, I can't do anything for you.
And I guess like when you kind of bring it back to the partnership that we have and talking to maybe some of the drivers who are watching the show out there and everything, you go from a brand like Qdoba, who, as we mentioned, full rack and sterno, heavy setup is absolutely critical to their brand. And you go to Luna Grill, where it's Mediterranean. You have some of these individually boxed meals. A lot of you have very nice branded materials, but it's not like an extensive setup. I wouldn't call it.
Correct.
But how important is that setup piece to Luna Grill though?
It's still really important, because just like if you're setting up a buffet, you want the buffet to flow in a certain way. So that's really critical. And then the more individual meals we do, because I've got X amount of Santorini bowls and classic bowls, and so we want them set up with here are the vegans, here's the vegetarians,
Right.
here's your keto bowls. So it's still really important, even though the driver isn't doing the sternos and the chafing dishes, but the setup is still super crucial.
Yeah, that's amazing. How your interaction, maybe not your necessarily interaction, but a GM or store manager and just employees in a local level location, their interaction with not even a DeliverThat driver, any third party delivery driver that you guys are utilizing. What are there things that they can do on their end to set themselves up for success when walking into your guys' store, or are there things that they should know about Luna Grill that will just make the process easier?
Yeah, I think what helps is a lot of the drivers have built a relationship with the GMs or the shift leads. So it's you walk in the door and it's like, I know you're with DeliverThat. I know what your order has been. Here it is. And I think it's really just from the driver perspective, getting to know the team at the individual Luna Grills that you're delivering for. Because one, it's going to make it easier on you when you walk in to be able to say, hey, Kevin. And then I can say, hey, Ben, there's your order over there. Let me know if you need something. You should have 3 bags you're picking up today. So I think the more you can develop a relationship between the GMs and the restaurant team and the drivers, I think that's important.
What about complete opposite side of the spectrum? That's what sets them up for success when things go wrong. If a driver shows up late, if a customer doesn't get all the food, whichever vantage point of this ecosystem is in the wrong or whatever, what do you guys do on your end to accommodate those customers? How do you fix that? How do you move forward when a delivery doesn't go as it was supposed to?
So, and that's our thing with the post calls, is making sure that we reach out to the guests and say, how did everything go? What would be great is if a DeliverThat driver, or whether it's the driver themselves or it goes through your dispatch team, reaches out to the restaurant and say, hey, you know what, the driver had an opportunity. We want to bring you up to speed on it. And then that way, when we call the guest, we're not blindsided.
Right.
We can reach out and say, you know what, our driver reached out to us and we understand there was an opportunity with the order. So that would be great, and that's part of that whole relationship. It's just not, you're just not picking up my order and dropping it. You're part of my team. And so that back and forth communication would be really helpful.
I think it's very interesting how you even phrase it, though. You phrase it as an opportunity, not necessarily a mistake or something like that. So even coming from that perspective and phrasing it that way already puts it in a different light.
Yeah, at Luna Grill, you don't have issues, you don't have problems. They're opportunities, because they're opportunities to fix, and that's what they are.
That's amazing. That's a perspective I would need to have on some days, I believe. I think, what do we got here? Now we got 10 more minutes. We've been going for like 20. I think I have a couple just one-off questions for you. Some should be very quick-hitting answers. You can elaborate as much as you please. But what is during the forum, there was talk from EasyCater about an uptick in order size. I think usually over the years we've seen like anywhere from 3 to 350. They said theirs is now 420. What is the average order you guys are seeing right now through catering at Luna Grill?
Somewhere right around the 400 mark. And what's interesting, it actually changes depending on order channel. So if you're calling direct, if you're going online, or if you're going through EasyCater, they're all a little bit different. And I think some of it comes to the more interaction you have with the person, the higher the order value.
Yeah.
The less interaction you have, so I'm just online, I'm ordering through an app or through the computer, it's a lower order value.
That makes a lot of sense. What about so you've been with Luna Grill? You've been with Luna Grill for 5 years now, since the beginning of our partnership. So 2020, just before COVID. In that time frame, do you know the largest catering delivery that Luna Grill has facilitated?
Yes, I can't. Well, yes, we work with a hospital, a hospital chain. And during COVID, they used to feed their teams. And so we would deliver 2,500 meals to hospitals, but we would do multiple hospitals.
Yeah, all
in
throughout the day.
Yeah. So it's because they have multiple hospitals. So it'd be, hey, we're going to do 3 hospitals this day. So we would put out 6,000 to 7,000 box lunches.
Last thing I got for you. If Kevin Redding is going through the line at Luna Grill, what is he ordering to eat that day?
So I normally get our flat cut chicken. I get our basmati rice, and then I forgo a salad and I do hummus because I love the hummus. And then all the signature plates come with pita. But we just started a new build your own bowl. So we've got curated bowls, but now you can go through and you can build whatever you want. So I'm more leaning into that now. So it's rice and salad. I get hummus. We've got a great medi salad, which is chopped tomato and cucumbers and some onion and stuff. And it's just got a great taste to it. And then chickpea salad and then tahini on it.
I will say, too, we do our monthly setup picture contest. Luna Grill, I think, is in the top 5 almost every month, just purely based off the colors. It's so colorful. The colors pop off the picture, off the camera. It always looks so good when you see that setup.
You eat with your eyes first.
Yeah.
So our culinary team takes a lot of time on crafting a bowl to exactly. I mean, you go in and all the restaurants have recipes, but they also have what we call cooking for lunatics, which is how do you assemble it? And it's everything is this goes at 2:00, this goes at 4:00, this goes, and then you drizzle over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really specific. So every bowl comes out looking the same, or should.
Okay. Yeah, like where each item is portioned in the
Yep.
bowl.
Yep.
That's wild. Analytical, some would say. I have a random question I just thought of. I think we talked. I mean, we did a podcast probably 3 or 4 years ago. At this point, you were I think my second guest maybe on the platform.
Yeah, and I was still working remotely. We were doing it.
Yeah.
You had just started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that was your first one.
Yeah, you might have been guest number 1.
Yeah, it was with Darian.
Yeah.
Darian and I sat down. He was in Akron. I was in San Diego. And just like this, we just chatted, and you were like, yeah, we're good. No edits.
Hey, I would love a no edit. No edit is the best way to go. But something I was kind of pulling from our last conversation, something I still see you guys do fairly often when talking with our partnerships team, is when you guys have a high value customer, you guys are reaching out and being very proactive and ensuring that delivery goes as best as possible, making sure we have an elite driver assigned to that delivery. Like the proactiveness in making sure those deliveries go how they're supposed to. Like what is your process in those, flagging them, reaching out to us? How do you make sure those high priority deliveries go as they should?
So typically, most of those high profile deliveries will come. I'll set my eyes on them because I go through our catering system and I look whether it's a high ticket item or it's one of the hospital I was talking about. They've got an order, and the thing that people have to remember is you're my partner in this. So you said, what can I do to set you up for success? Is to say, hey, you know what, guys, I've got a VIP order. I need a VIP driver on this, or not even a VIP driver. I just need the driver to be aware. I just need somebody to be prepared and, know that they're my VIP client. So treat them with, kid gloves. So that's where it is. And normally you'll get the email from me saying, hey guys, I've got a VIP client. And your team is great. And they always respond, and I get the great drivers. And
it's unbelievable.
Thankfully, those VIP orders.
Is this wood under there? I don't know if that's wood or not. Closeout question. Stir a little controversy here in the DeliverThat office. How much more fun did we have on our calls when I was your account rep versus who you speak to now on the DeliverThat team?
Oh, you're not mentioning their name.
I honestly I'm just unsure who it is. I don't know if it's Mitch, Cody, Derek. I don't know who
Cody.
it is. Okay.
It's Cody. Yes, I will say that you and I probably had more fun. But then you were also typically walking through the office with the computer going,
I had a lot going on.
I don't have a seat.
Yeah.
We'll just walk and talk.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's one of those, when you have the right partner and you communicate all the time, when you do a monthly recap, there's not a lot to recap.
True.
Because there shouldn't be any surprises. So it's typically, here was the numbers that we did last month, and then to sort of catch up and get to know you on a more personal level. I remember we talked through your parents' basement renovation.
Yeah, you were building your house at the time.
Yeah, that's right. I was remodeling
crazy.
the house at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's what I want. Even though you're in Akron, I still want to know everybody and have that personal relationship as if you were sitting, an office down the hall from me.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, man. I'm so appreciative of your time. So thankful for the partnership that we've been able to cultivate, the friendship. It's amazing being able to see you in person at these conferences and things like that. When we get the chance, we got to get out to San Diego.
I keep telling.
We got to get out there. I've never been to California. I got to make the trip.
You and Christian need to come out. So whole team.
Yeah, I think Darren's the only one that's been out there.
Darren's the
right?
only one. He's been out twice.
Very selfish.
Yes,
Very
he
selfish.
is. Yeah, he never takes you guys with him.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, well, Kevin, thank you so much for your time, man, and have a good rest of your conference, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.